So I started writing the music in 2019, and at the time everybody was still alive, so good times. So I wrote like a good batch of the music, and then after that I lost my father, and that left me pretty completely empty when it comes to music in general. Like you switch priorities in life and see what's important and what's not. And this music was not. It is important, but it's just like, what is it compared to the loss of a parent? So I was hoping I would be able to translate that into music. Like, innocently, I'm just like, oh, this is another, like when you're sad, when you're 16, your girlfriend left you, and you're like, I'm gonna write that song about her because I'm sad. But this was not like that. There was nothing coming out. And then Joey left us a few months after that, and that was just another. We talked with the rest of the band, and we said we're going to dedicate the album to Joey because he came up with the name. That gave me the sort of like a motivation to carry on. And luckily, like I said, most of the stuff was written beforehand. So all I had to do was just carry on and finish. But I don't think I would have been able in 21 to just start from scratch, because it's just like, it takes time. Grieving takes a lot of time, and I'm still in the process. And so yeah, happy times.
What's up, everybody? It's Keith, the GhostCodeMag.com. I am super stoked to be hanging out with Fredric Leclerc today. You know him from Dragon Force and creator, but also we're going to talk about the new album in Devastation from Sinsaenum. I practiced saying that name a bunch of times. I hope I didn't say it wrong.
No, you did good. Like, everybody's butchering it, so I'm just like, he's gonna Sinsaenum or Sin
oh,
whatever.
yeah.
No, that's good. Sinsaenum. It's not that
Um,
difficult, really, but
yeah. So first and foremost, what a banger of an album. I was looking forward to this for a long time. The announcement was, really put a smile on my face. And then this album is, it's a lot to take in, but it's awesome. It's definitely one of my favorite heavy releases of the year. But it's based on, it comes from a place of a lot of tragedy for you. And I'm very sorry for your losses. Even the last record had Sean Reinert, who passed away. We've been talking a lot about him on the channel and on the website lately because Gruesome's whole new album is about Sean, and a lot of, obviously a big tribute to death in general. So, I'm sorry for what you've been through, but I hope it was therapeutic for you to make this record and dedicate it to those who you've missed.
it's not quite to make the album as much as doing interviews for it, because quite frankly, so I started writing the music in 2019, and at the time everybody was still alive, so good times. So I wrote like a good batch of the music, and then after that I lost my father, and that left me pretty completely empty when it comes to music in general. Like you switch priorities in life and see what's important and what's not. And this music was not. It is important, but it's just like, what is it compared to the loss of a parent? So that just I was hoping I would be able to translate that into music. Like, innocently, I'm just like, oh, this is another, like when you're sad. When you're 16, your girlfriend left you, and you're like, I'm gonna write that song about her because I'm sad. But this was not like that. There was nothing coming out. And then Joey left us a few months after that, and that was just another, and then we decided to. We talked with the rest of the band, and we said we're going to dedicate the album to Joey because he came up with the name that you were able to pronounce correctly, by the way. I wanted to stress that again. And so that gave me the sort of like a motivation to carry on. And luckily, like I said, most of the stuff was written beforehand, so all I had to do was just carry on and finish. But I don't think I would have been able in 21 to just start from scratch, because it's just like, it takes time. Grieving takes a lot of time, and I'm still in the process. And so yeah, happy times.
Well, I think it's unfortunately part of our human makeup is that, we attach to things, and then, people, things, places, memories, and then they leave. We lose them invariably, or they lose us, right?
Yeah.
And so it's been, on one hand, I was a huge fan of Joey and all his work. It's hard. The years go by. It's the same thing, like I said, with Sean, who was a big supporter of Ghost Cult early on. And, and you with a personal loss, we've all kind of been there. So, but I think with Joey, it's nice to see these things done in his name, done with him in mind. So many projects popping up and paying tribute, which is really nice. And I'm sure for Andre coming in and playing drums, not an easy throne to fill. But what a job he has done.
Yeah. I think so. That's the good thing. Like Andre, for those who don't know, but I probably know that he was the drum tech on the Sinsaenum tour. So you could see Joey perform every day, and he would actually jump on stage with us and do percussions on the song Final Resolve. So when we decided, okay, let's carry on, and we were just wondering who we're gonna work with. Then we talked about it, and I guess it made total sense to keep it in the family, so to say, like Anthrax would say. Yeah, and I guess it was like a perfect choice, because I like to work with like people I trust, people I know, friends, and that's how Sinsaenum started. That's also how Amahiru started, and that's how Sean Reinhardt ended up playing one of his last thing, with us, with Amahiru, because he was supposed to do the album, and he couldn't make the whole thing, but at least he just gave us one song, which is, you have it, you can keep it for free, and the rest is history. But keeping it in the family was important, and and obviously Andre is a very good drummer, which is also important, but we could have also like as someone like very famous and keep going in that sort of super group, blah blah blah, which I've always hated anyway. So keeping in the family was important, and I guess it is a pressure for him. And I've never seen it that way, because I'm just focused on all the other aspects of the band. So yes, sometimes people are just, that must be very difficult for him. Now I realize, doing all these interviews and him sometimes going like, he felt the pressure, obviously, but I was just not really paying attention to him, because to me he is doing such a terrific job. Then it didn't even occur to me that yes, he's replacing Joey Jordison, which is a big shoes to fill in, but he's been doing it perfectly. Here comes hat number one, but it's just because I was complimenting him on the Infectious Groove hat, but I'm not gonna keep it. I'm just putting that. That's it.
I love.
Only found two. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I love Creator, and I'm super glad you're working out there.
I really didn't want to. I didn't want to do self promotion. It's really literally just that one, and the second one I'm just gonna wear it now. It's fucking.
Hey, it's me.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. So those are like they're not nearly as good as your Infectious Groove.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got very lucky to see them last year. It looks like they're playing a few more shows soon, so that's nice.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. Kind of in a similar way, this band has come together kind of like in Infectious Grooves, right? I love that. I love the mix between Sean and Attila, right? Because two very different vocalists, but under the same umbrella, but such a great set of performances. Did you come in kind of in as you're writing this material for a long time, and people also your guitar work is always very well respected, and people always are complimenting your guitar playing and writing, and did you write in mind with each vocalist, or just kind of made all the material and then said, here, pick this?
For the first album, it was written with Sean in mind up to a certain point. When Joey mentioned like, how about asking Attila? And Attila I had just met him like a few months prior, and I was just like, we really got along, and so I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's awesome. I never really, it was not in my, on my spectrum, on my radar, but yeah, that'd be awesome. So then with that in mind, I wrote the song Enfant des Albtraumes. I'm talking about the first one, with that part just about, with his vocals in mind, with his voice in mind. For this album, when I started writing the music, no, because he was not very present on the second one because he stepped down a bit. He's still part of the band, part of the family, rather than band, So he was on the Repulsion for Humanity. He sang on 3 songs, I believe. I think, and he couldn't do the live shows apart from 2. He was there in Budapest and he was there in Norway. And so on the third album, I was just like, well, it's gonna be the same. I guess we'll see when he's available and whatnot. This is not the priority. And then obviously when we decided to carry on, we contacted him and we said, like, okay, the album is going to be, also like a tribute to Joey as well. And it makes total sense for you. And he was just like, yeah, bro, absolutely. That's how he says, bro. Yeah, bro. So I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah. Just like, yeah, I sing as much as you want. And he was like, yeah, well, try to define what you prefer because we had to do that. Everybody had to do that because I was always on tour. So there was not a chance like we had done in the past. Attila would fly in Paris or somewhere I was, and then I would be conducting him, which was always fun to do. But this time it was more like he had to do it like remote. And so I defined certain places which became they became obvious once. Yeah, once I knew that he was going to be there, just like, well, yes, this is definitely your part. We're gonna benefit so much from having you there. And then together with the lyrics coming and just like, okay, that's so the very beginning, nothing was in mind other than Sean's gonna sing, and then we'll see how it goes. But then when everybody was on board and it was time to carry on and finish the songs, it all made total sense. And I hope that answer made sense as well. Probably didn't.
So good. I feel like, yeah, Sean, by the way, if people missed the new Comeback Doth album last year, you should go get that because his performance on that was also amazing. And Attila, I just feel like would be so much fun to write with and work with in the studio. He's definitely it's the person. Attila is not the stage performer in Mayhem. People I think probably get that wrong,
Yeah.
and expect like a very serious and emotionless kind of conduit of a person, but couldn't be further from the truth. Such a fun guy.
Yeah, we all have like a different facade, like obviously if you see Attila on stage, you go like, oh my God, and it's very far from the person that he is, and it's the same with me. You see like, oh, it's, when I do interviews, I'm always like most of the time, apart from when I started to do those interviews for the band, for this album, because it was horrible talking about my father and Joey, and it was just like, it was dragging, but eventually, like I said, now I'm at peace with that. And, so people would think that I'm just like, oh, he doesn't care, he's happy, he's making fun, blah blah. But I'm actually also different, and on stage and in life, and sometimes, and and Joey was the same. Joey was actually like, you would see him like a very serious like drummer, and he had an attitude when he was doing interviews and whatnot. But he was just like such a sweetheart and whatnot. So it's always interesting, like the difference between a character that you want to put out. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not like pretending to be something right now. This is part of my. I never play a role when I do interviews, or I try not to. But I don't see the point of being like, we are making a death metal album, and we try to. This one is called Devastation because we want to destroy mankind with our sonic blah. Fuck off. It's not. It doesn't matter. I'm just the way I am. But also there's like more to me than just this. And what I was trying to say is just like, it's the same with Attila, and it was the same with Joey, and it's the same with all of us. With you, with your light in the back. You're not that guy with that light in the back that we keep seeing from
No,
here.
I get criticized for I smile and talk and laugh too much to be a
That's
serious
great.
metalhead.
No.
Apparently, don't ever read your YouTube comments, but I read all of them, so I don't
No,
know.
oh God, no. We were talking about it like not so long ago with Mila. We were in the studio, and I was about to release the first song, like in Devastation, and he was just like, "Do not, do not read the comments." And I'm like, I know, but you can't help it. You have to read the comments, and people are just like, they don't care. They're just like behind their keyboard and screen, and they're like, he's got a suffocation shirt on, but he smiles and he has an infectious groove. He doesn't know anything about real death metal. I was an asshole. Plus, he's got like a pink
Right.
light on his bed. Well, loser.
Exactly. All the time. That's
Insane.
exactly it. That was
Yeah,
a really
well, I
good.
mean,
That's
fuck,
good.
let's see what those guys do. What do they
Yeah,
do? Man,
nothing. It's
I could
always
show you,
somebody
but I
like who doesn't do anything. I'm not
yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
surprised. I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. I'd rather be out in the world doing. I also played in bands for a long time. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do other things
Yeah.
beside this. But yeah, man, what a killer album. And of course I wanted to ask also what contributions Stephanie and Hymuth made also to, if they just came in and performed what you wrote, did they get to put in some of their own parts?
I guess so I write most of the material, if not everything, when it comes to music, but they always come with their own twist, like because they have like a strong personality when it comes to their instrument. So things change because it's never like set in stone. It is like this is what it is, but I'm also not just like I do it again. So it's just like it comes and just like it benefits from everybody's interpretation. Same with Sean or Andre. It's just this is what I had in mind, but also I'm not. So I guess for guitar and bass, it's a little different because I am a drummer. I'm a guitar player and a bass player, so I know what I want. But for the drums, I'm like any other guitar player. I'm doing. And then the drummer goes like, "Nope, this is not humanly possible. This has to be like this." I'm like, "Are you sure? It sounds better on my demo." No, it goes like this. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then the whole album is ruined because you really want it. No, I'm kidding. But but yeah. So this is they uh, they put their own contribution. Same with Sean. Just like he needs to breathe, and he's gonna pronounce it in a different way, and he comes with a different pattern by mistake. And I'm just like, wow, this is actually better. So that's happy. I guess happy mistakes, happy contributions makes it like the album that it is. But it's
Right.
mainly me. I mean, just it is mainly me.
Well, it is a little bit of letting go, right? They're not your children, your songs, but you wrote them and
No,
you heard them in your head a certain way, and then they do get interpreted, right? They get
yeah,
played a certain way. Somebody's hands on a fretboard, or somebody's
yeah.
their approach is always going to put their own little stamp on it that wasn't what you did. But I'm glad that you feel free enough and trust them enough to let them, because some
Yeah.
people can't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, and sometimes you just do things also like I've done in the past as well. It's sometimes easier to do things yourself. You save time. So certain parts you do everything. You go like, that's fine, and then you delegate and whatnot. I guess what matters the most at the end is the end result. So if you benefit from the others, that's great, and here we go.
Right on. Do you have a favorite track on the record? I think mine so far is Buried Alive. It's all strong. I love all of it, but I think I keep coming back to that one.
Funny, those like Buried Alive and Spiritual Lies almost didn't make it on the album. And yeah, yeah. I mean, so I've been working on those songs. We've been working on those songs for, like I said, 7 years or so. So it's a love and hate relationship. Some of the songs just like, does it even make sense anymore? I fucking hate that song. And then, oh no, it's actually great. And Buried Alive was supposed to be number 2 on the album for a long time. I remember mowing the lawn and listening to the album for the 156th time, and or like the demos at the time, and going like, okay, the album was supposed to start differently. They had like a instrumental intro and then a song. These 2 songs didn't make it on the album. We keep them for like maybe an EP or of some sort. I don't know, but it felt like it was like maybe like a step back and sounded a bit too old. Anyway, you don't. It's irrelevant to talk about these songs because no one knows them apart from me. But and Buried Alive was coming as a number 2, and then I was like, oh, this is cool. And then once we got rid of those songs, just like maybe Buried Alive doesn't. Maybe it sounds too much like Fear Factory, and maybe that solo. I don't know. That solo has too much of a Dimebag Darrell vibe to it. Is it really us? But then it goes into like some like pestilence vibe that fuck maybe and I ask everybody because I ask their opinion also for track lists because sometimes I'm just like I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, guys, I have no idea. What do you think? Same thing. There was another song I was adamant has to be on the album. It's awesome. I fucking love it. It's great. No one in the band, like no one in the band, just like, nah, not that one. I'm just like, really? You guys, no? Okay, fine. And so that's how we ended up with Buried Alive. And now it makes total sense. When I listen to it, it's just like, yeah, I'm glad they picked that one. But I'm glad you like it. My favorite is, I don't know. I have no idea. I think I still love Obsolete and Broken. I think it's great, but now that we've done a video for it, it's just like it has that much exposure that maybe I would prefer like it's something that's more obscure that no one's been mentioning. So I'm just waiting on everybody's input, and then I will come up with like, well, actually, everybody was wrong because my favorite is. That's how I like to be. I like this Wretched World. I think that's a cool song as well. It has that sort of like Ashes from our EP Ashes, has that vibe, and it's like it's a long solo, intricate, and it's kind of cool. But I like them all, and I hate them all.
Such is the battle of being an artist in 2025, right? The love hate. Or just, just kind of like by the time a record is done, it's like, okay, I don't, unless we're going to play these live, I don't need to hear this anymore.
Yeah,
I can relate.
yeah. I heard them for so long as well, like 7 years. Like there was like some moments I was just like, is it worth even? And plus the fact that I was depressed and still am. So you go through phases of just like joy, and then so I was telling a friend the other day, we were just like, yeah, depression, going through phases, and it was like, no, this is like, what's the word? Oh God, man, I wanted to sound intelligent, and now I forgot the name. When you're bipolar. It's like, no, this is bipolarity. I'm like, okay, all right, well, that's what I am then, I guess, maybe. But I guess, yeah, I've been going through different motions. But I think depression is kind of like that too, maybe, or waves of depressions.
Yeah, waves. That makes a lot of sense. How did you do with the Aussie news? Man, I took it really hard. I still am.
We had to do a show the same day, and someone told us like 5 minutes before going on stage, and it was fucking weird because obviously I grew up listening to his music, but also I knew that he was old, and I guess once you start to know. I don't, it's sad when people die, but once you start losing parents and whatnot, you have like you distance yourself from someone you've met only once or twice, which I did. I did Ozfest, and I went to see him when he was with Gus G, and we never really spoken more than just like hey and seeing him in the, passing by, and also. So that's my story with him, like on a personal level. But as a kid, listening to that the Bark of the Moon tour with Salt Lake City with Jake Healy and Revelations and creating all those images, and I love the album Osmosis. So all of that comes, and it's sad, and at the same time you see that he was old, and maybe it's better this way because at least he got to say goodbye, and it's very sad, and he was like such an icon for the style that we're making, for the style of music we're playing. And but yeah, it was very hard that day when we had to go on stage. Like right after, we're just like, ugh, it's something. So it is. And I guess in this day and age, you just like people talk about it all the time. So all you see on social media is that as well. So just like keeps like rehashing the. I guess it's meant well, but it's also like it's overwhelming sometimes. But it's sad because he was indeed such an icon. And like I said, Osmosis, such a great album.
Amazing. Yeah, a lot of people don't appreciate the whole record enough. It's really
It's
fantastic.
perfect, and it's just like
Yeah.
when it came out, I was a little disappointed because he would like go from like a hard song and then a ballad and then another ballad and then some. There was not that many like evil stuff because I was very evil at the time. But now that I listen to the album, it has such a vibe, like a mid 90s vibe. I love it. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Thunder Underground is a very underrated song. Kind of reminded
yes.
me of like a Pantera song. So kind of interesting years later that Zach would go on to do that. Just so In Devastation's coming out soon. What do you have out? What else can you talk about that's going on either with the band or what's coming up for you?
We're gonna do a bunch of shows in Europe for a start because I'm very busy with Creator. We've been recording an album with Creator, and and there's a movie coming out as well. We in Germany for now, and we'll see if it comes out. That'd be nice if it would come out everywhere, but this is not in our hands anymore. So I'm very busy. So Sinsaenum album out on the 8th of August. Some shows in October. And I need some rest, man. I'm exhausted. Like I'm always on tour with Creator, and this is awesome. And I don't want to complain about because I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do when I was a kid. But man, fuck. Like right now, I need like to have a. I need to have a little break. That'd be nice. So that's my plan right now.
You've been terrific. I really appreciate the time. Congratulations on the new album. Great to see you again, my friend. And
Thank you very much.
be safe on the road, and we'll be looking forward to all the new things from you too. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next time I will try to have like a better fucking hat. And congratulations on that pink light. I hope YouTube people will not comment too harsh on this.
I will have a worse hat next time and bad lighting, I promise.
Okay, perfect. Looking forward to see you. Take care.
Peace out.